If you always wanted to do belt squats but didn't have the money or space, don't worry, you came to the right video. Right now, I'll be showing you the exact setup I've been using for 2 years. And honestly, I think it's the best way of doing the exercise at home or a commercial gym that lacks a machine. So let's get right into it. All you're going to need is a dip belt, loading pin, and 2 plyometric boxes. Ideally, the plyo box should be 12 inches, as well as a loading pin. This allows for the greatest range of motion possible for most lifters. Now, if you're using a longer loading pin like the Ironmind, you may have to increase the height of the box to 14, 16 inches. All right, now that you got your equipment, let me show you how to do the basic exercise, then I'll provide some variations. So, it's really simple. Clip onto the loading pin. Make sure you're nice and tight. Stand up, get into position, arms out in front, begin the exercise. And as you can see, you can get a really deep range of motion compared to the machines or some other DIY setups that I've seen. On top of that, the weight is coming straight down instead of at an angle. So it's much better than doing this in the landmine station. And I would argue that you'll get better carryover to traditional barbell back squats. So not only is it very specific, the benefits are different in the sense that you're rotating your sacrum at the bottom. So it's a restoration exercise, you can argue, as well as having an amazing stimulus fatigue ratio. So you'll be using about 1/3 of your back squatting weight, yet still get an amazing hypertrophic response. So it makes it one of the best accessory lifts you could do, whether you're a powerlifter or athlete of any type. Anyway, if you're done your set or had enough of the exercise, simply stand down, unclip, take out the plow boxes. There you have it, boys. I just saved you a bunch of money and space. Isn't it amazing? It's quick to set up and it's something you're actually gonna do when you're training. So it's by far my #1 setup. If you can't replicate exactly what I did, especially if you don't have dip bars, try doing the exercise outside of the power rack with safety pins on top of you, because when you're going above 4 or 5 plates, it's really helpful and it beats grabbing onto the power rack directly, which you can still do. So there's many ways to get on top. You can grab onto a barbell and do it this way, though it might have a little bit of asymmetric loading. The second option would be safety pins. And this is a lot more stable, so it's what I recommend. I don't know if you noticed this, but I changed the loading pin, which allows for dead stop repetitions. So we're not necessarily doing partials, just breaking up the eccentric concentric chain, which is excellent for developing explosiveness as well as being a little bit easier on the recovery. Alternatively, you can grab onto a barbell and do the Hatfield version. This is great for anyone who wants to overload the posterior chain without increasing spinal compression. And you can also use this as a drop set strategy. So you finish doing your regular repetitions, you're fatigued, all right, get 5 more reps like this. Take your legs to their absolute limit without having core or back strength be the limiting factor. And that's all there is to it. I just showed you 3 ways of doing belt squats safely, effectively, and of course, you can load this to the max. So prepare to get super strong and jacked in the leg department.